Hi, this is Lee from Brim the Horizon, and you listen to The Faction.
Welcome back to Matter of Faction on the Faction Radio. Today's guest is Lee Malia from Bring Me the Horizon. The new record, Ammo, is out now, and they're heading to Australia for the First Love Tour in April. And you've all just heard one of my favourite tracks from the album, Sugar, Honey, Ice and Tea. What's going on, Lee?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, man. Living the dream. So last time you guys came down to Australia, it didn't exactly go to plan. Ollie ended up getting really ill, and a few of the shows that were supposed to go ahead didn't end up happening. How are you guys looking forward to coming down to Australia now you've got a new record in tow? You must be pretty pumped.
Yeah, we're super excited to bring all the new songs and the new live show over there and stuff. And we had some time off since then, and everyone's rested up well. So we're not over-toured and not over-tired, so this time it should be fine.
The new record, it's definitely the most diverse album you've done so far. And, you know, while there's some definite mosh pit anthems in there like Wonderful Life and Mantra, what's impressed me the most is the really progressive electronica and pop influences on the tracks. And I guess a good example of that is probably Nihilist Blues, which is, you know, it's like a bastard child of Paradise Lost and Nine Inch Nails that was adopted and raised by Bring Me the Horizon.
That's it. Yeah, I guess that's what we were kind of going for. We were going for like that super intense, almost like rave 90s music, but like in his own way. I guess we were all fans of that stuff and how intense it is anyway, and how good it always sounds. Like if you're in a club and there's something like that going with like crazy sub, it sounds super heavy anyway. So we wanted to like make a heavy song, but in a different way. Is
your songwriting approach different on a song like that than a more sort of straight up rock song like Wonderful Life?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's heavily synth driven. Do you know what I mean? So guitar wise on that one, I definitely approach it in a different way where I'm adding layers and stuff, and we're doing stuff like cool stuff with the guitars where they sit with the synth and through like these. I said something called a side change, so it pulses with the kick drum and stuff. So it sounds like a synth, but it's like guitars and in there as well. So we definitely tried stuff that we've not done on other CDs, and it sounds just like huge. It sounds like a wall of sound. So definitely, as a guitarist, the approach to adding guitars to it is different. But also the song as well. It's not just a typical verse, chorus, bridge song as well. It's a bit more experimental, like the breakdown straight after the chorus, which is just all drums and synth, basically, nothing else. But it sounds super heavy. It's different to what we've done before.
You know, a lot of electronic music that you hear in the club is very straightforward as far as 4/4, you know, just doof, doof, doof. Whereas it's really progressive. It's almost like Tool, but electronica or something. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the drums are really like interesting on that song, especially like on when it drops and stuff. The drums that Matt's playing are really like technical and sound proper good. So I think that helps in like changing it up a bit from just being like a dance song, if you know what I mean. It's got still got the live drums in there.
Obviously, the new material is really far removed from the band's earlier material, and being a metal station, I've seen the different reactions across the board, and honestly, the only real criticisms I've heard is that it doesn't sound like the first few records, and my response to that is, well, isn't that a good thing? It's not like those albums cease to exist, and I love bands like Slayer, but personally, I don't want to hear a band release the same album over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we feel. Like, we did them CDs, and we appreciate them, and we like them, and we definitely loved them at the time, and they're still there to listen to, you know what I mean, if you want to hear that.
Yeah.
But we've got to progress and stuff, and to be fair, like, people say, oh, you sold out because you made, like, a poppier-sounding song or whatever, but to us, selling out would be making these, like, deathcore songs just because kids want us to do that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be doing what we wanted to do. We would be selling out to the kids that want to hear that. So, I mean, it had a time and a place for us, but now we've moved on from there. I mean, we're 31 to 33 years old, and we've just matured in what we listen to and what we like playing and stuff.
As strong as the older songs were, I mean, you've just matured as songwriters, and I can tell that you're clearly influenced by good songwriters rather than a specific genre. I mean, for every touch of Linkin Park or Paradise Lost that I hear, in equal measure, I can hear an artist like Gary Newman or Roxette, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I've said in another interview, I always think, like, as long as the songs are good, it doesn't matter what style what genre they are or what style they are, and I think people will see past it eventually. Like, it's definitely a shock at first when you hear the CD and it just changes up style. But then if you hear it for just like, if you listen to it with an open mind, it doesn't matter that it's not metal or it's not rock or, you know what I mean?
Yes.
If it's a good song, it's a good song. So you just got to listen to it with an open mind.
What I find surprising is that anyone would be surprised by the new record, because each album has made sense when you listen to the previous album. Sempiternal made perfect sense after There's a Hell, Believe Me, I've Seen It. That's the Spirit made perfect sense after Sempiternal. And Ammo makes perfect sense after That's the Spirit. It's such a logical progression of songwriting, in my view.
Yeah, I mean, to us it makes sense. And I think people expected it, but like, they still deep down, they think like, oh, I just want another Sempiternal or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's still a shock to a lot of like fans and stuff that it is still changing and we're still like evolving and stuff. But like you say, it's all made sense ever since we started. I mean, there's quite a leap between Count Your Blessings and Suicide Season. And I remember when we released Suicide Season, first reaction with kids were just saying like, oh, they've gone soft or they're trying to be new metal and stuff. So we've always been doing it. So to us, it makes sense. You just got to get your head around it.
One thing I think is really good is that for any person that I see that struggles to get on board with a new direction, there's 5 people that absolutely love it. What's your reaction been from playing live and social media and all that sort of stuff?
Before we even released the CD, we said this is going to take kids like a few listens, do you know what I mean? To us, we knew it wasn't like an instant album that you make sense straight away. So we knew like at first people would just be like, what the fuck is this? Do you know what I mean? And so we were expecting that, but we've actually like seen it as well in like the comments and stuff. There's a lot of people tweeted like initially just saying hate it, and then they're already commenting now saying it all makes sense now. Like after a few listens, it's an amazing album and that. So it's happening that like as we thought it would. And then also, we looked on, like, when we released all the songs on YouTube, each song has, like, a different person saying favourite song on the CD, but that's on every single one. It's not just, like, there's not, like, one track on there that somebody, there's not, like, a group of people saying this is my favourite song on the CD, so we were just, like, it's pretty cool that, like, every song on there is hitting someone, if you know what I mean. It's not just, like, there's some filler. It's definitely connecting with people in a different way to like some of the stuff we've released before.
Definitely can see that, man, because obviously I've really digested the new record before this interview, and I listened to Wonderful Life and I'm like, all right, that's my song. I love that. And then Sugar Honey Iced Tea, I heard that and I went, okay, that's my song. And then I got to You Always Kick Me When I'm Down. And every time I listen to a song, I'm like, fuck, I can't work out which one I like anymore. They just keep getting better and better.
Yeah. That's cool though. That's a good. I mean, it's a good problem to have when you're listening to a CD and you can't decide which is your favourite, rather than which one you hate the most. I mean, so like, yeah, hopefully that like translates to a lot of people, and like we get to play like a lot of the new stuff. There's not ever any tracks where we're like, oh, we might not ever play that live. Like, well, I mean, with Sugar on the Ice and Tea, we were like, are people going to like this because it's got like falsetto vocals in the chorus? We thought people would be like, oh, it starts heavy but then goes soft, but loads of people are saying that's their favourite song and stuff and it's heavy and that, so people are hearing it different to us as well. Anyone that's going to shit on falsettos hasn't listened to Judas Priest, and they can go fuck themselves just quietly. yeah, true. That's what I love about the record though, and I found the same thing with That's the Spirit. It's, I guess the word's progressive, not so much in crazy time signatures and things like that, although there is a measure of that as well, but it's very much a journey of an album, and I've found that all the way back as far as Sempiternal, but more so with Ammo. Yeah. Did you have an overarching sort of concept as far as the music? Because it's just so organic, and even though it's so different, somehow it all works together. I guess on the, say on like That's the Spirit, we kind of wanted each and every song to be a single worthy, if you know what I mean. So it had to be in a certain time, like length of time. It had to have like a certain amount of choruses. It had to have like a certain sound to it. Whereas on this CD, we had like some singles that we were like, they're strong and they're definitely good enough for like radio and that. So the rest of it we could kind of relax on, and it didn't have to conform to like a single structure, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So we definitely got to like mess about a bit more, and I think that's why people say it's progressive in a different way. It's definitely not like prog music, like Dream Theater or something. I think it's the progressive thinking of like just weird shit, like why can't we have a beatboxer on this, or why can't we have like just weird sounds? I mean, trumpets and stuff, and and why can't it just last too long? I guess like certain songs are more for us, if you know what I mean, this time. But then you've still got your singles that like make perfect sense on the radio and that. So I think we've just got to like push ourselves a bit more then, rather than just trying to write 10 perfect singles.
But the irony is, you've written 10 perfect singles.
I suppose so, yeah. But I mean, it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be like that. But I suppose as long as the songs are catchy or whatever, at the end of the day, and it's a good song, it can be a signal.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've found ever since Sempiternal. I listened to Sempiternal. I've never been the biggest metalcore, deathcore fan, but I listened to it and I just went, fuck, this is the best representation of sort of the metalcore genre by far. I'm not trying to tickle your balls here, but that's my honest opinion.
No, yeah, that's cool.
I don't think you could have done better in that genre. I mean, it would make no sense to make Sempiternal too.
No, I know, and we think that as well. Like, we kind of did everything we could have done in that sound, if you know what I mean, on that CD. Anything else would have been recycling. Like, if we'd have gone back to like just doing like, I think we've tried every breakdown in the book, do you know what I mean, like, and stuff like that. So it almost got to the point where the point of a breakdown to us was losing its effect, because we were like, why are we even writing a breakdown? What does it even mean and stuff? Yeah. Whereas when we were writing Sempiternal, it had a big meaning in the song, if you know what I mean. But then we got to the point where we would rather have like a sick like musical section or like a really good vocal section instead of like a breakdown. And I guess people at first are like, oh, this is where the drop should be, but it's not and stuff. But really, it becomes a bit unmusical. You know what I mean? If you go back to a breakdown with what we're doing nowadays, we're thinking in a different musical way. It's
interesting too, because there's different kinds of heavy. I saw Black Sabbath on their final tour, and you listen to a song of theirs from 1969, that is as heavy or heavier than any fucking thing with blast beats you'll ever hear.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's definitely the case with a song like Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I mean, Wonderful Life's like down-tuned and stuff, do you know what I mean? And it's got like the heavy guitar riff and that. But to us, like, one of the heaviest things on the CD is like when Nihilist Blues drops after the first chorus. That to us is like our new representation of what a breakdown or like a beatdown sounds like. You know what I mean? It's just intense sub and like a groove going on. So I guess it's how you're hearing what is heavy, you know what I mean? And if it's heavy with emotion, it's heavy, but it's in a different way to just, like you say, to blast beats or like squealing on guitar and then chugging, you know what I mean? So it's just a different aspect of heavy.
100%, man. And look, the new album Ammo is absolutely amazing. I'm so stoked for you guys, and I think this is the record that you guys are already a stadium act, but I think you're going to struggle to find a stadium big enough to fit you in after this one. This is awesome.
That'd be crazy, but yeah, thank you, man.
No worries, man. Thanks so much for spending some time on The Faction today, man. Is there anything you'd like to say, Lee, before you head off to the Aussie fans ahead of your upcoming tour?
Come out to the gigs. It'd be good to see everyone. Come and sing along to the new songs. And yeah, it's going to be a cool show. So I'll see you soon. Hi, this is Lee from Brim the Horizon, and you listen to The Faction.